What's up, everybody? We're going to get going here in just a moment. I hope you're feeling good. I hope you're looking good. I hope life is treating you well. These markets are setting up like they have been, and it feels like it's a never-ending story. But we've got to talk about what's going on in this market because we're going into a weekend. We may get a little bit more volatility because there's less volume on the weekend. We're going to be jumping in here in just a moment. If you're here, if you are alive, if your fingers work, if your ears work because you can hear me, drop anything at all in that live chat. Let me know that you are here. Sawtooth Hiker said, okay, I made it. Good day. Tickle Biddies. Hope we got you sorted on that customer ticket. And Man and Meta, how you doing, my friend? Alexander G, what's up? I think it's time to get into it. I think we got to talk about what's going on in this market because, hey, man, I'm excited about what's going on, and we got some things to do. So I think, you know what, without any further ado, let's just go ahead and dive into this. I want to see every single one of you throw a 1 in chat. Also, write something you're grateful for today. Let's get our mind right so we can get our lives right. It all starts with how we're thinking. It all starts with how we're feeling. So let's do that. Let's get into the thick of it. If you're ready to go, again, I don't see any of you guys starting to throw this into the live chat. There we go. I'm seeing it now. People are alive. Let's get it. We're going to have looks like we might have a little bit of a smaller stream today, but it's going to be all. What's up, everybody? Good morning, good afternoon, good night. Throw a 1 in chat if there's audio, if visual, everything is working, sounding good. I'm still a little nervous with this new setup. I want to make sure everything is going well there. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, ding the bell. Tickle Biddy says, grateful for good health and the air in my lungs. Every day is a good day. It's a good opportunity. We got to remember that. Let's all have a positive outlook on everything happening here. We're going to jump in right now talking about what's going on in this market. So if you haven't yet, again, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, ding the bell. Let's go ahead and talk about what is happening right here. $2.42 trillion crypto market cap right now. This is excellent. Everybody's worried. There's a lot of people sitting there saying, oh, this is frustrating. And I got some charts to show you that's going to give you a little bit better perspective on what we're seeing and what we're feeling at this current moment. So let's not get chopped out from impatience. Okay. Let's make sure that we're seeing the forest for the trees and we understand what is coming here. I didn't sleep well last night. I got a friend in town. We have such wonderful conversations. So I'm a little tired today, but we're going to be breaking down what's going on in this market and talking about some really great stories about what's happening here. So let's go ahead and just dive right on into it. Bitcoin to reach $200,000 next year, says Bernstein. Here's what will drive the rally. First things first, regardless of if you see a headline like this or not, we have to be more proactive about what's our analysis. I'm not going to make a trade. I'm not going to make a sell, a buy. I'm not going to quench my confidence or fear based on what some analyst in the traditional finance sector says. But is $200,000 possible? Everybody in the chat right now, put a Y if yes, you believe $200,000 Bitcoin is possible by the top of the bull cycle. Or put an in. Doesn't mean you don't think it'll ever get there. I'm saying within this cycle, between now and where the cycle top is, do you think we're going to get, not only, maybe it doesn't even have to hit 200, but within 185 to 200K, do you think it's going to get there? I think it is very possible, and we're going to talk about that, but we can't bet all of our horses on it absolutely happening. We have to have an adaptable strategy when we're looking at what's going on in this market. So coming back over to this screen right here, what are they talking about? Here's what will drive the rally. Unprecedented demand. We all know this. I mean, we've seen how much capital flow has been coming up in here. Let's see. Tickle Biddy says possible and likely are two very different concepts. Definitely possible, but I think it's unlikely. That's a cogent thought. That's thinking deeply about what's going on in this market. Sawtooth Hiker says ladder out. That's, I think, as the market is moving up into that zone, because we see that's what whales do. Once we truly break through, not just tap all-time high like we have, but start breaking through with volume. Like we saw, for how many of you were in that member stream that we had yesterday here, here on BitLab Academy on the YouTube. I shared it, by the way. If you guys did not see it, I just want to remind you, I actually opened it up briefly for those of you that had your notifications right here, subscribed and see that bell. you would have seen right here in the community page, I shared this with everybody, not just the members. I gave a little secret treat there, but I also had it on the main page as a live stream for a short period of time. Then I put it back to private. I wanted some of you all to get in there. It was me and along with Kevin Svensson really breaking down his strategy and what's going on in the market, talking about a lot of the things there. So throw a one in chat if you were able to see that. Shout out Man and Meta says super stream. And that link is still there on that community page. Every one of you can still watch it. I want to periodically share some of that super alpha with all you. When you see those, let me go ahead and see right here. I don't know if you're going to be able to see it. When you see the playlists that have these basically blacked out, not a lot of, it's not supposed to inspire like the clickbait. This is specifically, when you see these thumbnails, this is the super alpha stuff. Don't not click on it because it's not an exciting thumbnail. Those of you that are in the know, you'll see this and be like, there's going to be some alpha in there. So I just want to shout that out. Coming back over to what we're talking about here, the institutional demand, the players, the big wigs that are coming in, and the type of flows we're seeing. Yes, it is possible. And at some point, we will absolutely hit $200,000 in Bitcoin at some point. When is that going to be? I'm not sure. We have super low viewership today. This means every one of you that's here, you are the super fam. So big love to each and every one of you. The estimate here is an update from their previous predictions that the price of the world's largest crypto will reach 150. So it seems like, you know, those ideas, even on the traditional asset side, are pushing anywhere from 120 all the way up to, you know, 250 plus. So we've got to make our own judgment about what's going to happen here. Bitcoin is in a new bull cycle. I can't say that name, but wrote in his report this week, also suggesting that Bitcoin will hit $500,000 in 2029 and about $1 million in 2033. Michael Saylor actually has much more astounding and incredibly high numbers from that. So we have to take this step by step, day by day, and we can be hopeful for this, but realize this is not going to come immediate. This is going to be something that's going to build and chop people out along the way. Yeah. Like it, what is it? Like it was your life on the counter. I don't know what that means, but shout out for counters, I guess. Everybody throw one in chat if you have counters in your house. I think we all do. But moving on here, what do we see? Update, thinking about that $200,000. When we see a number like that, we want to ask, not only what are we currently seeing, but what is a projection? When we are looking at markets, all of us, myself included, sometimes I get lost in the daily. That's even a small time frame comparatively with bigger markets. The 8 hour, the 4 hour, the 1 hour, we need to be satiated. It's like that Instagram reels and the shorts on YouTube and the TikToks. I think that's part of the reason why everybody is looking at these super small time frames, because we need to see the movement now. I want it now, as Ronnie Chang said on his comedy special. We want it now. Well, sometimes the most fruitful things are going to be if you can project into the future and prepare yourself for it. And by doing that, even if there's some bumps along the way, having that broader view on the market will give you so much more benefit in terms of the profitability possibilities. And it all comes back from patience, the PPP, baby. Now, coming back over to what we're seeing here, this is from Andrew. It's a great analyst and crypto and markets guy. You should follow. It's at AP_ABACUS, AP_abacus. And what he says here is update: Blackrock sources and quotes on Bitcoin ETF grow and BTC price action. Expected this inflow velocity from the get-go, meaning some people were seeing that they're expecting a lot of early appetite. And demand, this is important, demand will remain elevated. This is going to be something. Remember how early not only you are, but all these institutions, especially the ones that have come in Q1, they were basically cutting and carving the path for the possibility for everybody else to start saying, oh, it's okay to do it. They're the trailblazers. Michael Saylor is a real institutional trailblazer, but he was doing it 2-3 years before the ETF. But now we're seeing the Bitcoin spot ETFs go live January 10th, approved 10th and live and tradable on the 11th. And then what we saw is an onslaught of early investors. For us, we were early, but for the institutional side, now we're getting through all those early adopters. They're carving the path. So it's not only okay, now you're going to see their balance sheets and their investments and assets under management are going to balloon exponentially faster and higher than people that are outside of the Bitcoin ecosystem. And that's only going to not only have the path carved, but then also be sort of a visual and contextual incentive for basically other corporations and institutions to come in behind them. So what we also see here is we expect the group, basically Bitcoin ETFs, to surpass $100 billion in assets under management by 2025. That's what are we at right now? Let's actually come over here. We can go to Bitcoin strategy platform, and we could pull up the ETF tracker here from the Rational Roots tracker here, and we can see where are we at currently. We've got 881,000 Bitcoin already in ETFs. Now, mind you, Grayscale is now down to 281. They were up over 600,000 when they were a trust and they converted into the ETF. And a lot of this rotation has been out of Grayscale into these others. But even beyond that, we basically have a surplus now, or in addition to that 600,000, the rotation and an additional 200,000+ Bitcoin that were bought. But what is that? What is 881? That actually, let's go over to, is it CoinInc? Coinanc.com, yeah. I like this website. They got some great information here. I think they actually have it characterized by the dollar amount, total volume, total assets under management. So 52 billion. So basically I think this is actually conservative to consider another $50 billion coming into the Bitcoin spot ETFs between now and 2025. I think that is wildly conservative considering we had so much flow in the first quarter of these Bitcoin ETFs, spot ETFs launch. So we have the makeup, we have the demand, we have the appetite, and we have so much room to go and only diminishing available supply. And this is not even accounting for retail coming in the spot market yet and really starting to buy. So we've got a lot of things to consider as this market develops over time. Demand from the largest investors has merely just begun. I completely agree with this. And then again, why isn't it moving up? This is similar to that chart that I shared on April 19th, talking about that 50 to 150, something like that, days post-halving. We always have had this sideways action. You see the black line here. Let me take my face off real quick. 1 second, so you can see me. It doesn't matter. I'll just exit that out of that. There's basically the black line shows exactly we're completely on track when you look at it on a ratio basis for where we are post-halving comparatively with the previous cycles. There's nothing out of context. We're not too fast. We're not too slow. We're right there in the middle of the pack, exactly where you could have predicted based on past price action. So let's not beat ourselves up because it's not just absolutely running to the upside. Now, considering also what's going on here, MicroStrategy still buying. They announced the other day they're going to do a $50 million convertible note sale, and they increased it now to by 40% up to $700 million. They've been buying all along the way, sometimes at highs, sometimes at mids, sometimes at lows, because they're doing what everybody says they do and none of us really do. I've been doing it fairly aggressively with my altcoin spot portfolio that I've been sharing with you all along the way since February, and not looking at TA for that portfolio, doing it on a very basic sort of time basis. When I pull capital together, I might wait a day or two, but I'm not looking at patterns. I'm looking at the general altcoin market and I'm buying. Now I have other portfolios as well that I trade and so on and so forth, but I've been really trying to exemplify there is a simplicity that you can do when you have a longer term time horizon in the type of positions that you're taking. So this is similar. Why the hell am I talking about my portfolio? Because this is similar to what Michael Saylor's doing, and people were absolutely dogging him 2 years ago when the market was going down. Worst decision he ever made. He's such a terrible CEO. Now he's being lauded as probably, and we'll see over the next 5 to 7 years and all the way into the future, MicroStrategy will probably end up being one of the most valuable companies in the world. It's going to just be jumping the ranks as the value of Bitcoin goes up. And those people that are buying, by the way, I have my mother, for instance, I got to buy MicroStrategy because she won't buy Bitcoin. So I talked to her about this tech stock and she looked at the chart and she bought it, not realizing that fully that you're actually getting a leveraged position. It's sort of a beta leveraged position to Bitcoin, because what happens when you buy MicroStrategy stock, let's go ahead and pull this up real quick. MSTR, let's go to stocks. When you buy MicroStrategy, if you look at the shape of this, very similar to what we saw in the, very similar to what we saw in the Bitcoin market. The double top, the breakdown actually held quite a bit better. We had a lot of oscillation here, but then just stair-stepping to the upside, very similar to Bitcoin. But when you buy exposure to MicroStrategy, you're buying exposure to a stock that continues to have more valuable things put on its balance sheet. That Bitcoin, they keep raising money to buy more and more Bitcoin. So it's sort of like a soft leverage position with exposure to Bitcoin when you're buying this. They have, and remember, MicroStrategy has, I don't even know how much, it's actually going to say in that article. I don't know what I was going to type there. Let's see. How many Bitcoin do they have now? It's in the, I don't know what happened to my screen. There it goes. Locking up there. So let's see where we at. MicroStrategy has amassed about MicroStrategy has amassed $12.7 billion worth of Bitcoin. I just want to make sure this is it. You guys having choppy screen on your end? I hope it's all good. I might have to close some stuff on my end. Let me close a couple charts here. Give me 1 second. I'm just cleaning up the back end so we can actually operate. There's just too many tabs open. I got a new computer coming here in a couple days though, so we'll keep it slow. Give me 1 second, everybody. 100 people in the room. Everybody hit that like button as I'm getting this sort of cleared up on the back end, making sure that we can do this effectively. Close. I don't know why. There we go. And close. Closing all the things, giving me some, there we go. Working again, got it now. Also, everybody, I appreciate you being here. So they got about $12.7 billion worth of Bitcoin. Remember, they started with about $500 million on their balance sheet in cash only a few years ago. Because they have Bitcoin on their balance sheet, because they have sort of shifted their main focus of their company to now becoming, rather than just a software company, to a Bitcoin development company, and they're obviously buying so much Bitcoin. Now they're over $12.7 billion, and this is before the price has exploded. So, I mean, they are completely on the right track, and we're seeing other companies like Metaplanet and similar, I can't remember the rest of the name, Similar Scientifica or something. We're starting to see other companies starting to get very large exposure here. So it's been sporadically buffering. It should be all good now. Hopefully it's not this new system I have that's too labor intensive. But as I said, I got a new computer coming here very soon, which costs far too much money. I'm going to need to go out on the corner in all your local districts and shake my leg and try to figure out how to pay for that computer. But I want to make sure we have the best equipment for you guys. It is an expensive endeavor to do these streams, but we got to make sure that we bring you the best quality, and that's what this is about. Now, on the flip side of this, the last 15 years, JP Morgan has been a skeptic, sharing all these FUD pieces, down talking. I don't know what the hell's going on with the thing here. I don't know why this is going so slow. Can I close a couple more things? But they've been a skeptic, drawing all this FUD, but at the same time, they've been buying and getting exposure at the ETF by night. So two-face mentality. Now, why would they do that unless they have an incredible belief in where this is going? Now, some of this exposure is going to be through their clients that are buying the ETF, but they're also making a lot of investments. Remember, they even have their own blockchain. I think it's called Onyx. So why would they do that? Why would they have that narrative shaping that they're doing, unless they're trying to limit the buy demand right now so they can continue getting in at what we could call a reasonable price before the price really explodes higher. So this is the kind of things that actually makes me bullish when I see this. Now, what are the key reasons why Bitcoin is struggling right now? It all comes down to right here. Despite equities showing strong momentum, stock market's pushing up, right? Why isn't Bitcoin absolutely running with it? Well, Bitcoin is failing to gather upward momentum, and the key reason for the divergence can be attributed to post-halving capitulation. There's too many words here, Kelly. What the heck is this talking about? Miners. The halving just happened. Now the miners are half as profitable. That's what the halving is about. It cuts how much new Bitcoin is minted every 10 minutes as a reward for those miners. And now there's been enough time, it's about, was it 50 or 60 days now, almost 2 months since the halving. And now that pressure on the basically the reduction of that profit margin by half, we're starting to see some miner capitulation, meaning miners are showing some sell pressure. So we can see, in essence, it's capping the price at this level, increasing the cost of operations, and lower reward structures results in massive sell-offs or some sell-offs of some measurable capacity by Bitcoin miners, laying on bearish pressure and not allowing the Bitcoin to catch up with good signals on the broader financial markets. Now, this is going to be a small sort of, let's call it a health check reset. Those that are in the best position in this market, in the mining sector, are going to do the best. And I think the miners are going to continue to consolidate over time as the mining rewards go down. And so we're going to have to keep an eye on that. But this is something that we've seen every cycle. Now, shout out right here to Mr. Sawtooth Hiker, $50 super chat for the new studio expenses from the fam, Kelly. Much appreciated for you. I appreciate you. Thank you so much for the super chat. I'm going to go ahead and put a heart on that. Everybody go hit a like on that super. Can you do the likes on there or just a heart, I guess? All these social media things change on a daily basis. I appreciate that super chat. Thank you very much. That's the wrong screen right there. Now, coming back over here, we're seeing a little bit of that minor capitulation. And here's the metric that shows it. The hash rate. What is a hash rate? We break all this down, by the way, in BitLab Academy, in the on-chain data course that we have within the broader courses. One of the things we talk about is hash rate. And hash rate is the amount of power. Think of it like the Bitcoin mining horsepower, okay? If you're calculating all the horsepower of 20 cars, right? And then you calculate all the horsepower of the cars available and the horsepower goes down, that shows you that some of those cars may have turned off their engine. Hash rate is essentially that when we're looking at how many miners are on network competing for these blocks. So when you see the hash rate declining, in this case, we had an uptrend and then it started to decline. This is basically an 18-month upward trend has broken, suggesting some miners capitulating. They're turning off the machines. Now, some of them might be selling. Some of them might just have their machines off. It's probably going to be a combination of the two and probably some other factors as well. But as price starts to go back up, then it starts to become more profitable for the amount of energy and the cost of expense to run these facilities. Now, the other caveat here is, though, I do think we're going to see a change in this metric, and it's going to be important to watch over time because we're also seeing that, I think I shared the story 2 weeks ago, that there's some Bitcoin mining facilities that are starting to drop contract negotiations and the availability of their compute power, their computer networks, for in some moments where maybe profitability isn't as strong with mining, they can use that compute to essentially as graphics modelings for AI data centers. So there's going to start to be other revenue streams that probably grow into this space as well, which would actually be phenomenal because then it would make mining more profitable and it would make it easier to keep a large amount of decentralization within this network, which actually makes it more secure. So right now, as we see this declining a little bit, we're getting a little bit of sell pressure in the market from miners. Now, what would be max pain this cycle? Matthew Hyland, my boy, shared it. Are we going to continue to see these basically bull kind of crab, but we realistically could see a sideways market. If we come over here to Will Clemente the third right here. He actually just shared this as well. Right here. Would be hilarious if Bitcoin did the same summer consolidation fractal again, which is what we saw last summer. All the sideways. I mean, how long was that? We have to be aware of these things because this market doesn't just go up. In fact, it goes down and sideways more time. 2/3 of the time in this market, it's either going into bear market or consolidating sideways. And we're mad after a year and a half of upside price action. We've got, what is this? Let's measure it from here across. We are at 99 days. So basically about 100 days. How long was this? This was, let's see, April. Let's go, where is the top here? May 10th. Let's go to May 10th last year. Let's just get a little, there we go, roughly about right there. How long was this? 165 days before it broke past this previous high. So if we did 165 days, now, of course, this is not going to be exact. This is just to give you an idea that we're not doing anything out of the ordinary right now. That would take us all the way into August, likely beyond. And as Kevin Svensson pointed out yesterday, September is the worst year on record for stocks and crypto. Or not first, worst month every year. So we got to pay attention. If we're going sideways into September, we may have a bit of a sell-off in September. If we're going up into September, we may have a sell-off. If we're going down into September, maybe we have a sideways or actually have a rebound and change. All these things are adaptable. Anybody who tells you exactly what it's going to do is lying to you. So when we're looking at this right now, we got two more things to cover here, and then we'll dive into it. Also, Ethereum demand spiking, buying by permanent holders was the second highest on record yesterday, 298,000 Ethereum. Look at this, massive uptick. What is this? Those addresses that they've identified that are people that buy and don't sell, permanent holders. And what do we see? By those addresses where Ethereum was purchased and moved into that wallet address, we see, boom, look at how much buying right here. I mean, massive, all the way back here in September, September 2018? Or September 18th. Yeah, so this is not this is a smaller time frame, but we're seeing huge. The record daily buying, it was last September 11th. There we go. This is what we're seeing. Boom, boom. But we're seeing massive buys by accounts that have huge amounts and that are long-term holders. So what are they signaling to us? They're signaling to us long-term confidence, or at least confidence that this is going to go higher at some point in the near future. Now, near future for a long-term holder could be in 3 months. It doesn't have to be tomorrow. So let's just be aware of that. Now, we're going to talk about ONDO here in a bit too, because ONDO gets a boost, and it's since sort of pulled back, but they had a listing on Upbit. This is great. So we'll look at that here in a moment. But let's get some context on where we're at with Bitcoin, what's going on. This chart, if you guys have not seen it, I share this regularly. This is Bitcoin. This is the aggregated premium. If this is positive, it means most people are betting leverage long, and most people betting leverage are going long. If this is negative, this means most people, if they're going leverage, the delta is there's more shorts going than long. So this is what we're getting right now. We had this move up with high open interest moving up into this, telling me we'll likely get a pullback. I shared that with you all on June 5th on my Twitter and here on the live stream. And then we subsequently, we got the pullback. Now we're getting the converse of that, where now this is moving down. We're actually getting an increasing negative premium, meaning it's becoming more expensive to go short because more people are going short, and we have an increase in open interest. So you're getting basically the people that were trying to go long now have flipped to going short, and you're getting an increase in the amount of derivatives that are being put here. This is actually a bullish setup. If this can even flush down a little bit further and this continues to rise with people going short, that creates that opportunity for the price to flip. ONDO. To buy the dip, says Alexander G. What is the last thing? Everybody watching right now, we got 120 people in the room. Everybody hit that like button, show some love, ding the bell. But what's the last thing that you bought or DCA'd into? I'm curious what coins you guys have been scooping as the market moves down, or are you sitting on your hands? Now, let's get over to the actual liquidation data. Let's refresh this right here, and we can see all this heat area directly above us. This is on the 7-day chart, but we're seeing this piling up of all this liquidity above us. You know, it was up here at the 72 zone, but now we got it actually coming down a bit lower down here at the 70,400 zone. So what does this look like in terms of levels we need to watch? So you see these two sort of barriers. Which direction is the market going to push to scoop up liquidity? So we get these ideas. We can see where there's pools of liquidity that market makers might be interested in moving. And then we can use that with the confluence of the technical analysis to give a likelihood to take our bets, right? In terms of what trade direction are we going to take if you're trading. I'm not trading right now. I'm buying some dips looking to hold for several months. I'm looking for positions, but if you're actively trading smaller positions, you want to identify, okay, we're in a sideways range here. This is either going to make a move to the downside, scoop up liquidity in this direction down here, beyond that 65 mark that we had, potentially all the way down here to 62.7, or this is going to break to the upside and start basically attack this free liquidity zone if the market moves one way or the other. So what is the immediate signal? Look at this. This is right in the middle of the road. This was very high up here. And we talked about the setup for this sweeping back down. Now, what have we got? This is swept back down. Now, on this chart, you get a little bit more clarity more locally because we can see that there's a lot of liquidity. Where is it? 65, 66. What is the level that I've been sharing with you guys on this over the last 2 weeks? The level I've been sharing with you is this right here, 65,000. Now, this doesn't have to hit, but regionally, the price, it came down. Let's go down to the 8 hour. Let's go to the 4 hour, actually. We can see the price actually already, the price came down, tapped this level, came back up, rejected, now came back through it. It's trying. If we can hold here, the most bullish thing in the near term is holding this low that we have at this exact level, maybe a couple, $100 or $2 below us. This would be a giant sort of midterm W pattern if we can hold this. If we lose this, and it seems like, looking at this chart, we've got a little bit more liquidity we could scoop up directly below us, bear trap style, and wash out to that downside, take that liquidity, get people committed going short. You see the Velo data chart. You see this open interest go up. You see this, the aggregated premium going negative a little bit higher. And we see the price action level that we had identified. This could be a great bear trap opportunity to scare people to then reverse and come back to the upside. But we have to take this on a day-by-day level. Which direction do you guys think it is? Kelly, is it too late to buy ONDO? I don't think so. Let's look at it. Let's look at ONDO. By the way, guys, I'm loving this setup to where I can actually see what you guys are saying directly in front of my face and not so far that I have to squint. I'm trying to make more of a deal to really focus on when you guys either super chat or questions I could pop in here. So here we go. ONDO, would I say it's too late? No, because remember, this is a newer coin. If we look at this, this is a newer coin coming back here to January. A lot of us got in somewhere around here in February. So we have a huge amount of upside already, but does that mean it's already done? No, this bull market, this parabolic move in the altcoin market hasn't even really started yet. It happens, I think, once Bitcoin really starts moving. If we come over here to the total 3, where's total 3? Total 3, here we go. So we talked about the altcoins here on the 4 hour chart. This was pushing up, rising wedge, likely breakdown. But what we want to look at is this. This is all the altcoins, right? Everything in the market minus Bitcoin and Ethereum. This won't account for a bunch of trash meme coins and stuff too, but most of the top, couple thousand altcoins. But we can see, remember, Bitcoin's already hit the previous all-time high. We still have another 40% to go once we break this high. From where we're at right now, we've got 79% to go. Is that right? That's a huge difference. We have 79% to go just to get to the previous. That's not what I want. Measuring tape. Just to get from the current price levels, 78% of the way to go just to get to the previous all-time high, let alone the continuation beyond that. What do we see? Here's a previous all-time high. So this is kind of the metric that we'd be looking at in the previous cycle. When we were about here, this is 136. So let's go 70. Let's try to find a similar fractal. This would be, so it's somewhere like about right here. When we had the push up, but we were consolidating, but Bitcoin had already broken the previous all-time high. Well, from here, you had that, 70% move or whatever. But then beyond that previous all-time high, the total altcoin market still, God dang it, give me a second. Beyond this previous all-time high, the total altcoin market still went up another 220%. This does not mean the altcoins go up 220% from here. This means some altcoins go up 2,000%. Some fail, some go down. This is an aggregate of all those altcoins, but this is a signal that the market has so much room to go after not only this goes from here to here, but then there and beyond. We have so much room to grow in these altcoins. So when we're looking at ONDO and we see ONDO, it's been pushing up. Oh my God, did I miss it? Well, look for opportunity. What do we see? Large impulse, a little bit smaller. In addition to that, meaning the momentum slowing down. In addition to that, on the smaller time frame, head and shoulders. We're sitting here tapping right now. I'm breaking below this. So what's the measured move? Let's go from the top to the neckline. So so you have a shoulder, a larger move, which is the head, then another shoulder, right? Looks like head and shoulders. Now you take a trend line from this point to this point, project it out. Look at that, bounced right there. And right now we're currently flirting with breaking below it. Now the measured move would suggest, the measured move is a target for where the price action could likely go down to. Now this is a little bit bearish beyond just the breakdown of, a target out of this head and shoulders. This is bearish because what we see is we have a trend line all the way back here since February. Bounce, 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 bounce kind of a little bit above it, but bounce again. So we have two conflicting stories here. We have a head and shoulders suggesting the target is now below this trend line. Now, if this is the case, and this does come down and lose this and target down here, this may be a spell for maybe a little bit more of a pullback in this, this RWA sector, this coin. But it also could be a trap. We need to trade flexibly and invest flexibly right now when we're on the cusp of that larger crypto market move. Now, remember, we have so much going on geopolitically. There is a case to be made. I hate to say this to you all. There is a case to be made. Everybody wants to ignore this. And this will relate to ONDO as well. Look at this pre-halving dump. Look at these large moves. This is at last halving 2016. The move from this top down 40%. This move from this top down 24%. The move from this top down through the halving, 40%. We never got that big move. The halving was roughly about right here, option V. Okay, it was on the 19th, but that's close enough. But we only had a 20% move, 20% move, 20% move, another 20% move. There is a case to be made that this larger rise and sell-off, there is a case to be made that I'm especially looking somewhat like a double top, that maybe we get a big washout that takes the altcoin market significantly lower. Shout out Green Day Profits, $100 super chat, supporting my BitLab fam. Keep up the great work. Kelly, Alexander G, Sawtooth Hiker, you guys rock. Givers Gain, shout out to the Crypto Billy team. I appreciate it. I appreciate the love. I appreciate everybody that shows up on a daily basis. And if you are new here, let us know you're new. We have such a warm, wonderful community. I very rarely ever see any trolls in here, and our entire mod community doesn't just kick them out. It's like, hey, let's reshape this. Let's be positive together. Let's be a positive community. That's what this is about. Paul Andrews says that's a gift from Blackrock. I love that. But if this were to pull back, where would we be looking? Well, we have these two key levels right here. We have to be aware of this. I'm not saying this is going to happen, but we need to be aware in the event that we do get a bigger pullback. And that would be a move all the way here down to 45,000. Let's see what this would look like. Again, I'm still very bullish. We just have to map out that bearish path. That would be a 30% pullback from where we're at. But from the high, that would be wait, how's that a smaller pullback? I must have drawn that crazy. All right, so let's see. From the high down, that would be 38% pullback. That would be similar to past cycles. This is possible. However, when we are looking at this market and we realize that this is just trading sideways, consolidating, this line right here is a previous all-time high last cycle. We're just consolidating at this level, and we're seeing, barring some economic or geopolitical huge event, I don't think we're going to get this move down here. If we do get that huge geopolitical event, this is where I'm looking. 53, this level here, and 45. If we don't get that and people are just doing FUD narratives about, oh my God, miners, then this is going to continue to chop people out. And then once this does push up, break through $70,000 to $72,000, then I don't think 74,000 is going to be a hard thing to break through. And then we have $84,000 next. Similarly with Ethereum, Things are still, I mean, this is in a downtrend now. We have to be aware of that. Downtrend. And look at this. Also testing this W formation similar that we saw on Bitcoin. If we lose that, then we're coming down here to 32.50. And as Kevin Svensson said yesterday, coming down into the zone. And reminder to all of you right now, coming back over to the BitLab Academy page, I challenge and encourage and welcome and invite all of you to check out this member stream that we did yesterday. It's open for everybody. I accidentally posted it here on I forgot to set it to members only. So go take a look. This was great conversation with Kevin Svensson. He actually breaks down some of his strategy. There's a great sort of very beginner friendly strategy in there to identify when you're going to get a breakout up or a breakdown in there. And he also talks about where he thinks this market is going. So as it stands right now, things are, I'm still feeling really good. We have another member stream today. If you come in here in the BitLab Discord right here, the today 2:15 p.m. Joshua Jake, and it's going to be mostly Joshua Jake, but I facilitate it, breaking down what's going on with markets, some narratives, some breakdowns in there. If you are a BitLab YouTube member, make sure you ding the bell, and check this community page because you'll see a members only thing right here. I'll share that unlisted link so you guys can join. And remember, if you guys are trading this market or you're new or you're trying to figure out, you want to sharpen your skills, make sure you head over to lab.bitlabacademy.com/deal. The link's right there on the screen, lab.bitlabacademy.com/deal. It's 15 days for free. You can cancel before that is up if you want, so you never have to pay, or you can choose to pay the incredibly low fee that we have. That is, we have incredible alpha in our community. You can also upgrade and get those indicators as well. And you can participate in all those member streams and the alpha and the updates that I'm doing in here to my portfolio. And there's so much stuff going on in here. Chart requests. You can ask certain things to be charted, VIP charts, breakdowns of it's not just me. We got Corduroy in here, absolute master in the markets. John Dalton also breaking down really key levels. Joshua Jake comes in here and posts things as well from time to time, calls, watch lists, so much going on in here. And of course, such a great community in the members chat. So check that out. And finally, got to say thank you to our channel sponsors, Arculus. Big shout out to, powered by Arculus. If you want to have the best crypto cold storage solution, make sure you check that out. And I cannot forget with my buddy sitting right next to me as well. Make sure, go down below this video. You will see right here live. You go right down here below the video. Let's pause that into this description area. Come here and check where's the channel partners thing? Right here. Come here, click on this link, check out Galactix.io. The absolute reimagining of crypto gaming, crypto casino, RPG, treasure chests that give you, it is awesome. Check that out. We actually have some more content we're going to be doing here very shortly. Go to this link right here. With that, everybody, I love you. I appreciate you. I hope you all have a wonderful day. And, we're going to sing the Adios Muchachos song together. So let's do it, everybody. I'll see you in the Discord. Adios. Adios, muchachos. Thank you for coming. It's Friday. Suckers, hit that like button. Thank you for always tuning in. Have an absolutely wonderful weekend, everybody. I love you. Adios.